Well over 30 years since scientists first discovered the virus that causes AIDS, HIV, stereotypes still exist within society, and organizations continue in the quest to eliminate the stigma associated with HIV/AIDS. Speaking with CBN4, Javion Nelson, Director of Projects and Strategy at JFLAG in Jamaica, explained that discussions about sexuality and STIs remain taboo, and people are still being chastised for wanting to know their status.
Sort of stigma. So once you go to certain places, it automatically means if you work with a certain entity, you're either gay or you're HIV, you're living with HIV. If you go to one of their offices to just do a test, it means that you're positive, rather than seeing that the individual has been responsible and trying to know what their status is. And so we have to continue to do lots of work around that, because, and it's not just for the HIV unit, it's also clinics that are more friendly for these issues, and organizations that do this kind of work. So we have, for example, Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, which is the oldest NGO in Jamaica, non-governmental organization in Jamaica, which works with people living with and affected by HIV. And for lots of people, once you go there, they automatically think you are someone who's in with HIV, and if you work there, you must be gay, or you're a sex worker, or you're a transgender person, not recognizing that this individual is actually taking responsibility for their sexual and reproductive health.
JFLAG is a human rights and social justice organization which advocates for the rights and well-being of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons in Jamaica. Nish McLean, HIV coordinator and project manager at JFLAG, agreed that labels still exist.
Once you work in a particular field, that you are, and even if you don't identify as LGBT, people assume that you are condoning a particular behavior. So we do have a little challenge with persons being tolerant, open-minded, and accepting that there is diversity, and that persons are, as Javion said, are just simply trying to be responsible for their sexual and reproductive health. And if we look at it in that light, then we can simply see people as humans and not try to place label on people and use our own perceptions and sometimes our own insecurities to affect the way people navigate.
Director at the Dominica Planned Parenthood Association, Marilyn Richards, remarked that many people are still afraid to walk up the stairs to Planned Parenthood for fear of what others will think, and expressed that any change in how those with HIV/AIDS, or even those who simply want to know more about their sexual health, are treated, it has to start with the individual.
It has to begin with us. We have to learn to respect each other. We are all human beings. We have to learn to respect each other and respect that somebody else choose to live their life a particular way. You know, so we have to learn to respect each other.
Yeah, and I think where stigma is concerned, for particularly on just doing something like HIV tests, I think we need religious leaders, we need lawyers and judges and politicians to come forward and do testing, and then help to demystify all that we have around. We think about HIV tests that only a particular set of people do it, etc. And the churches, I think, have a huge role to play in this regard, because the churches play such an important part of our life, of our socialization. And so we're going to have to see much more being done by our religious leaders, you know, talking about HIV, stigma and discrimination, etc. in our churches. For youth fellowship, etc., we need these kinds of conversations in the women's ministries, in the men's ministries. In the sermon, you can talk about how Jesus preaches about love and respect for everybody. Because until then, we're still going to have a huge problem.
With Regional Testing Day having been held on June 30th, JFLAG and the Dominica Planned Parenthood Association and the HIV/AIDS Response Unit continue to work to sensitize the public and address the stigma and discrimination associated with HIV/AIDS. And be sure to tune in to CBN4 for this entire interview.